I'm your host, GI Wingnut. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to try to keep this video pretty short like I did my last one in reference to MCU speaking to the St. Louis County Council at their meeting on January 21st, 2025, in reference to getting the lead out of the water in public schools, which led me to a realization that I need to run through some stuff real quick here. The St. Louis County Council voted to accept a $50 million grant from the state of Missouri for the purpose of building a cop city in St. Charles County, just west of St. Louis, Missouri. So let's get into what might be going on here, at least how I'm seeing things playing out. Starting here at the Missouri Independent, and in the description I will drop the links to all these articles. But Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe issues orders to track undocumented migrants and boost trooper pay. This was dropped January 13th, 2025, as you can see on the Missouri Independent. I'm not going to read through the whole article. You can do that on with the link, but I wanted to get to the 6 main points, or the 6 orders that Kehoe signed into effect. Number 1, authorize the creation of regional teams to serve outstanding arrest warrants in a program called Operation Relentless Pursuit. This is wild. This is wild, people, but this is what's happening. Next, create a Blue Shield community recognition program for cities and counties that work to make law enforcement effective through increased budgets and community policing programs, among other criteria. Next, send selected troops from Missouri Highway Patrol to federal immigration enforcement training under the 287-G program established in 1996. Require law enforcement to include the immigration status of individuals in arrest reports for inclusion in statewide reporting system. Next, shorten the period of time for Highway Patrol troopers to reach the top of their pay grade to 12 years from 15 years. And last but not least, require the Department of Corrections to assemble a working group to examine rules for probation and parole to allow offenders with drug or other problems to seek treatment while incarcerating people who are repeat violent offenders. So I also want to note that Governor Kehoe is leaving these duties to Attorney General Bailey. I'm not going to say much more about that at the moment. So up next, we've got several Missouri lawmakers. This is coming from WGEM. Again, the link will be in the description. Several Missouri lawmakers introduced legislation aimed at tracking recording number of undocumented immigrants in the state. This article was dropped January 16th, 2025. Again, like I said, the article will be there if you really want to dig into the work of this Hannah Falcon. So, the St. Louis area police departments slowly move forward with plan for regional law enforcement training facility. Like I said, that passed last night. I was shocked. I had no idea that that was going to be happening when I was there, especially given this nifty little article here. Again, the link will be in the description. It's the Atlanta Black Star. It's disgusting. Video clip shows 2 St. Louis cops walking away after refusing to render aid to dying man because their shift was almost over, and it's on a body cam thing. The video, I do believe, is in here. If not, yeah, it's at the bottom of the page. It seems like, no, maybe that's not it. Anyway, the story is there. And what I really find interesting is that April 2024, not quite a year ago, in Columbia, Missouri, this is on the KOMU.com website, new regional law enforcement training center to assist agencies across Missouri. And I had to glance down here, and I think I saw something about like 40 different agencies are going to be involved. Oh no, that was on the Boone County training Sheriff's office. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, there it is. Currently, there are at least 40 different law enforcement agencies that have plans to utilize the facility. So let me see if I can find a picture in here, to throw in here rather, about what a cop city looks like. And then I've got some clips I'm going to throw on to the end because as far as I can tell, Republicans can only project their own actions disguised as some kind of fear. I've got some special clips to throw on the end here from good old Mr. Fearmonger himself, Alex Jones. So, yeah, let's move forward with this.
So, does anyone care to touch on this further?
Why so serious?
And it's got the 5 regions for the FEMA camps, and it talks about barricades and barbed wire and armed guards, and it says that they've built the camps and that now they need to get ready to staff them, and that they need to be ready within a 72-hour period for the guards and the people in the canteen with the food and the launderers and just the whole 9 yards. There it is. So they've been setting this up for more than 2 decades. And now they started earlier in the year, back in February of this year, advertising for upwards of 100,000 internment specialists. Now, this particular manning of the camp is your local sports stadium, your local FEMA center. These are 300-person camps to 1,000-person camps where they then interrogate you and go over things. And then you're sent off to the 1 million-man camps that we're going to be breaking down. But I tell you what, I did a whole report on this. Oh, thank you, Marcos. Appreciate that water. I've done a whole report on this that's coming up. But I suggest that you do what anybody with common sense, and of course our listeners, I think, have a little extra common sense. I would call your friends and family right now. And I would tell them to mosey on over to Infowars.com so they can see this information. And I would tell them to get this information because it's a lengthy article that Kurt Nimmo and I put together this afternoon. It goes over all of it. And it's got links to films and congressional hearings, and admissions of all of this. And so I want to challenge everybody to call their friends and their families now and realize that the new economy is to put tens of millions of people, we already have the biggest prison population in the world, in this archipelago, this giant chain of facilities all over the country. Because it's all there. All the government documents, all the government admissions, a civilian inmate labor camp program run by the Army, where they're at, all the details down to how they're going to break the families up and where the children go and the forced inoculations and everything. The executive orders, the legislation, the congressional hearings. But I tell you, Glenn Beck used to giggle and laugh a couple years ago. He really enjoyed that. Where for over a month he built it up that I think FEMA camps are real. We've done an investigation, and we're going to expose it on this date. Then the date would come, and he's, I'm sorry, we're not ready, but it's bad what we're finding. And then a day later, after saying, we have popular mechanics, the yellow journalism specialist of the famous. Do you see this article? New legislation authorizes FEMA camps in the United States. This is up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com right now by Paul Watson. And you're like, Alex, you've shown us video of FEMA camps. You've been to FEMA camps. You've covered FEMA camps. The mainstream papers admit they've built FEMA camps. Why is this article so important? Why is this new piece of legislation so important, H.R. 645? Well, I went through a lot of that in the first hour today, but I want to go back over the main points and some other points I didn't flesh out entirely. And again, I'm going to have Paul Watson go over every point I made, every point he's made, and then put a link to all the stories, bills, legislation, the backup on all of that. And on screen, we've got some of the FEMA camps that they've built, the barbed wire facing in for you. And old military bases predominantly. Now they're moving city, county governments into those as the true seats of governments. And this is total federalization, absolute, total, and complete tyranny. So we will go over that report. The importance of it is just completely off the charts. And I want to go back and remind you of May 24, 2006. We had the secret FEMA documents. And then over a year later, it came out in mainstream news that, yes, it was exactly as we said. Well, yeah, we had it from preachers, secret FEMA documents, training them to tell their flocks, go to the camps, turn your guns in, it's of the Lord. They're not doing all this for nothing. They're saying, well, we're doing this now with the FEMA camps because of the economic collapse. You're going to have to go to them. And we're going to run your local cities. But, it's just because of the economic collapse. They've just been quietly setting this up for a long, long time. Secret FEMA plan to use pastors as pacifiers in preparation for martial law, forced inoculation, and so much more. And by the way, the pastor sent me these, and I said, okay, do I need to black your name out? And he said, yes. I said, no, do I need to black the fax number off? He goes, no, it's a little local store. They don't even know me. I went to another little town. FEMA and Homeland Security went days after this story broke on our website. Butch Paul first covered it, but that didn't get the big attention it did on the show here. We had the preacher on. They went, because we left the fax number on there, put a bunch of pages up. I should have taken it off, but he said, didn't have to do it. They went, got the security camera tapes, found out what his car was, found out which preacher it was. And they walked in to the hospital where he volunteers. He has a large flock as well, but hospital where he volunteers said, you're fired. Get out of here. You know why. Don't you ever talk about this stuff again. And we talked to another pastor as well who was scared to come on air but gave us the same documents. People said, oh, it's not real. Oh, it's fake documents. You're just making it all up. And then it's been on the news. In fact, I don't have it loaded in the computer here, but we've never played it on TV. We've always aired the audio. Pull up FEMA pastors for martial law, and there'll be several newscasts. Cue that up during the break. I want to find one of those for later in the show. It'll be on YouTube. In fact, Paul Watson wrote articles a year and a half later when we were proven right. I cannot find words to describe how serious it is that FEMA came out and announced that they built all these FEMA camps for the American people, and now they're trying to pass legislation under Northcom to forcibly merge your local police, the National Guard, and everything underneath these systems. And they're going to have tens of thousands of preachers going around telling their flocks to go to the FEMA camps. Right now on screen right here, we have the newscast a year and a half after we broke it, admitting exactly what we said, but spinning it like martial law is a good thing and all this stuff's great. This is real. And just like in Nazi Germany, they'd say, we're relocating you because of the economic downturn or the war to a place where you'll be safe. And then they're saying also troublemakers will have to be held in the camps. So this is how they're going to introduce it, get the local police and military to follow orders and go along with it. And then they can turn the heat up. So this is happening. This is going on.
Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is?
It's just the fact that we're reporting on that. So I want to be clear, the company isn't bad. They're allowed to be in business and sell this to the government. In the past, we would see articles about 1 million body bags ordered by FEMA, or 300,000 plastic coffins ordered by Homeland Security. I mean, we've had all those articles. We just have never... But people don't care about an article or a news story. They want to see the coffins. So some folks in Georgia saw one of these facilities, and we've got Google photos of it and ground photos and video of it, and it is more than 500,000 of these giant coffins stacked outside. You'll have big stacks of lids and then stacks of the coffins, one inside the other. And they also have other systems that you can go read about. They also have urns for your cremated body. And this is in Georgia. The company is Polyguard Vaults, but they're in Alabama. This is a separate area, a FEMA leased area, just sitting right out by the side of a highway for the last couple of years. And finally, we've mentioned this before, but finally, this is really getting big news on the web, and a big report's being done by Kurt Nimmo right now. In fact, it may be up. I know he's working on it. They have it up by the end of the show. Why are tens of thousands of plastic burial vaults stacked in a field near Madison, Georgia, is the headline. Polyguard Vaults, and you go to their website, and we also have photos of the trucks, giant 18-wheelers, huge 18-wheelers with these extra long flatbeds just totally stacked with the coffins that go one inside the other like plastic Dixie cups. And they're just all there. Now, we know this is FEMA. We know that these are coffins. Some people are debating that because we have all the news articles where it says FEMA's ordered coffins and body bags by the millions. This is just one stockpile just a few miles away from the Atlanta airport. which is the largest airport in the United States. So you can go there and look at these. Now, the FEMA and the CDC say that they're, by the way, this is nearby the CDC, Center for Disease Control. They say that they're only doing this in case there's a mass biological outbreak. You've just got to remember that it's the government, the criminals that have hijacked our government, their National Security Act of 47, who fully took over when they killed President Kennedy in 63, and now under PDD 51 openly says that the White House is a dictatorship and that Congress has no authority. The chairman of the Homeland Security Department for 6-7 months, it's been going on for 11 months total since one of the people on the committee asked to see the documents. They're not even allowed to see the fully declassified / classified version. But on the cover sheet of PDD 51, Presidential Decision Directive 51, it says that the president is a dictator. People say, well, everything will be all right. Barack Obama will soon be in, or John McCain will. They're just puppets. They run nothing. They're there to carry out their orders. Understand? It's that executive branch that allows the private corporations that have hijacked our government to have, at least on the surface, the look of government. But a president declaring himself dictator is totally illegal and illegitimate. See, that's what you got to ask yourself. Do you stand with the Bill of Rights and Constitution or with the New World Order? Do you stand with the Republic and the Founding Fathers or the dirtbag globalists? We'll be right back with the second hour and your calls. More on the top.
I began assembling a force multiplying mechanism made up of armed private citizens scattered all over Lincoln County, New Mexico. A force multiplying mechanism that I can call upon if I need to ring that bell.
And they go out on their own and they do their own thing because the sheriff is out there deputizing his buddies.
And I can promise you this, that as long as I occupy the office of Lincoln County Sheriff in New Mexico, I am going to continue to build upon that occupying force.
I'm going to continue to build upon that occupying force.
Yeah, he said he works for Mike Wood, but he has no police powers. I don't understand what all that means. He's got a badge.
He sure does have police lights in his personal car. Well, he did give us a special deputy card.
Mike Wood, sheriff of Lincoln County, New Mexico, went live on the department's Facebook page to brag about creating a secret, armed, occupying force that he has full and total control over in Lincoln County. The armed occupying force, as he calls it, is to operate in total secrecy and answer only to him. And he has arbitrarily decided that the identities and operations of these secret military members are not subject to public records requests.
Good Friday morning, Lincoln County, New Mexico. Michael Wood, your Lincoln County Sheriff here. Over the last couple of years, it is rare that the topic of our security does not come up. Our federal and state governments are doing absolutely nothing to protect us from that, doing nothing to ensure our safety and security. A lot of them are perpetuating the deterioration of our safety and security for personal and political purposes. Thank God for us. Thank God for we, the people. We are an armed society. That's what makes us the strongest in the world. Well, I got news for you folks, and you know who I'm talking to. What we have in our gun safes and what we carry on our persons to defend ourselves, our families in this country, is none of your damn business. That's your job. Do your job. Do your job or get out. I will read to you the law in terms of authority that you vested in me as the citizens of this county. Any sheriff is hereby authorized at any time to appoint respectable and orderly persons as special deputies to serve any particular order, writ, or process, or when in the opinion of any sheriff, the appointment of special deputies is necessary and required for the purpose of preserving the peace. That's law. Now I will tell you, it's time you know, over about the last year or so, I recognized the need to start doing just that. I began assembling a force multiplying mechanism made up of armed private citizens scattered all over Lincoln County, New Mexico. A force multiplying mechanism that I can call upon if I need to ring that bell. And I can promise you this, that as long as I occupy the office of Lincoln County Sheriff in New Mexico, I am going to continue to build upon that occupying force. So I'll leave you with this message. There are some things in the works that are going on to ensure our safety and security in Lincoln County, New Mexico.
So I submitted an open records request to Mike Wood. I said, hey, Mike, I would like copies of all records containing the names of all individuals that are not certified police officers that have been given an oath of office by your agency or taken an oath of office from your agency or have otherwise been sworn into act as special deputies of your agency. I would also like copies of all training materials and certifications related to the so-called special deputies within your agency. Thanks. Mike responded, these individuals provide me with confidential information, and as such, their identities cannot be disclosed. I responded, I'm looking through all the statutes, and I don't see the one that says you can hide the identities of anyone who has taken an oath of office for any reason. Everything I'm seeing says that it is public record. Can you point me to the law that says you can withhold the identities of sworn public servants, or is it not necessarily codified and just something that you're choosing to do on your own despite the law? James Freeman. I then said, since I already have the identities and documents for multiple, quote, special deputies that you have appointed.
Special Officer Doofy.
Oh, hi, Doofy. Oh, is that true?
Yeah, I forgot to swallow.
Which I obtained through other avenues. I'd like to know if I'm allowed to publish those, or if I'm required to keep that information secret from the public also. I wouldn't want to accidentally publish anything about your secret works, or things that you had intended to keep in the darkness and shadows. Please let me know ASAP, as I intend to publish tomorrow unless I'm directed otherwise. James Freeman.
Fear-mongering, frightening people can benefit some groups, because if you're the group who offers the solution to those fears, I'm the witch doctor and I've gotten you frightened of witches, then I gain power, I gain prestige, as soon as I gain money. Fear-mongering is a technique that has benefited many people over the ages. Politicians sometimes gain by, if it's not for me, the world's going to fall apart, give us power. Environmentalists, we're the groups, we're the only ones who can guide civilization forward. We're going to run out, we're going to lose, we're going to have. They frighten people. Fear-mongering can sometimes affect people's behavior, and if you know what that behavior change might be, you can sometimes profit by the fears of others.